guys, it's Lex. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I did a really glowy, bronzy, perfect for a golden hour selfie makeup look. I really used minimal products, but I used particular products in a certain way to give myself the perfect glow. My lid has 2 shadows on it and it looks so good. But before I jump into the video, if you're not already, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and turn on your notifications so that you never miss out on a weekly upload. I post videos about beauty, makeup, lifestyle, and more. Okay, so if you guys want to see how I got this glowy golden hour look that's super easy and will look good on anybody, then keep on watching. You know what, y'all? Sometimes if I know that my face is clean because I washed it the night before and I'm just gonna slap some makeup on it, I just take a cotton ball with some witch hazel on it and I just cleanse my face real quick. I don't know what I did in my sleep, but there's some dirt on my face. Now, I'm going to prime my face with the Hourglass Cosmetics Mineral Veil Primer. And for kind of golden hour makeup, I kind of like a more dewy, glowy finish. So I actually just tried out this primer in my last video, trying Hourglass Cosmetics, and I really did like it a lot. It makes your skin feel really velvety, but also loomy at the same time. But it is a little expensive, so a good dupe for it, or another luminous primer, is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. I really like that a lot as well. So in the summer, I like to keep my foundation more light to medium coverage because usually I have a tan going on, my skin's looking all cute and glowy. I'm gonna go for the Cover FX Power Play Concealer because it does provide some coverage, but it also kind of keeps my skin more on the natural glowy side, which I like. And another foundation that I recently tried out that still has coverage but is kind of dewy still is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. The only thing that I will say with that is if you have oily skin, it might not be for you. So I mean, you could still do this with a matte foundation because we're gonna put a bunch of highlighter and bronzer on anyway, so it's fine, don't worry about it. If you have oily skin, like, do your thing, mattify your face down, because throughout the day the oils in your skin will probably give you a natural glow anyway, so you do your thing. Guys, I am so excited. The plants that I ordered online are coming in today, and I asked you guys on my Instagram story if you would want to see it, and you guys said yes. I mean, I probably would have done it anyway. I love makeup and beauty stuff. That's what I really want the main focus of my channel to be, but like, also I love interior design, I love fashion, like decorating, I love plants. So like, I do want to definitely throw in other videos here and there, but I do want the main focus of my channel to be makeup, beauty, lifestyle. So if you guys do have any video suggestions, definitely leave them in the comments down below. I love to hear from you and I love to hear your feedback, what I could improve on, what videos you want to see from me, like what could I do better, let me know. Okay, so I bounced my foundation on with a beauty blender and now it's time to conceal because my under eyes need it so bad. So I have my Cover FX Power Play Concealer and this is in the shade N Light 2. This is probably like my second most favorite full coverage foundation besides the Tarte Shape Tape. So if you're looking for a new full coverage foundation, I would definitely give this a try. It for sure covers up everything, but it doesn't dry down like super matte and cracky, which I like because my skin is more on the dry side. I could definitely pull off a more dewy foundation and concealer combo. And recently I've been getting into mini beauty blenders to blend out my concealer. So yeah, we're gonna just bounce that into our skin like we did with the foundation and watch our dark circles hopefully disappear. And the reason why I put my concealer where I do is because you want to put the concealer on the high points and where the light would hit your face first. If you're looking at the sun or if you're looking at a light, it would hit your face in the front and on the high points. So on your forehead, on your cheekbones, on your nose, and like your chin, pretty much the T-zone and the center of your face. Obviously everybody's face is different and you want to put the concealer where you want to brighten anything up. So obviously you do your business, I'll do mine. But yeah, that's why we put the concealer where we put it. Number one, we obviously want to conceal any dark circles or blemishes, but also we want to put it where we want to draw light and attention. Okay, and now to set my face, I'm going to use the Hourglass Veil Setting Powder, and I'm just going to use the same beauty blender so I can really press it into my under eyes and try as best as I can to minimize fine lines. But like I always say, and I always preach, if you have lines, unless you get Botox, they are not going anywhere. But what you can do is try to prevent it. So right after you put on your concealer, when it's as even and as flat as possible, you want to go right in with that setting powder and really press it into your skin to set the concealer and try to lock everything in. And when you do your other eye, if you notice that your concealer is starting to crease, you just go back in with your beauty blender, blend it out, and then go right in with your setting powder. And I do always put extra setting powder around my nose and like mouth area because that is where I get the most sweaty, you know, the little upper lip sweat and like the little oil around your nose. So I'm just gonna let this bake for a minute and I will be right back. Okay, so I just did my brows off camera and I wiped off the excess setting powder with a fluffy brush. And this eyebrow is a little bit darker today. It's just like wiling out. So I mean, like, we're just gonna go with it. For some reason, when I think of like golden hour glowy, I think of cream products. So I'm gonna be using one of my new Fenty cream blushes, and this is in the shade Petal Poppin'. Oh my god, I forgot to contour. So to contour, I'm going to be using my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and this is in the shade Endless Summer. It's one of the deeper shades that they have, and I'm going to take it on a Morphe E4 angled brush. And I'm just gonna bronze up my face. Just gonna tuck my hair behind my ear so I could see that perfect contour line from the tip of my mouth to the tip of my ear. And I just kind of like to map out where I'm gonna put the bronzer first before I start going in and blending. And I personally like to take it up into my temples a little bit. And you always wanna blend in upwards motion. Wow, that was a lot. And this is like really dark. So gonna take a beauty sponge and put some setting powder on there. And carve out my contour because that was like a lot. So I'm gonna take a little bit less because I always forget like how actually dark this shade is. I can never tell if I like these brushes or not because I feel like it brings my contour down too low, but it is like a really good shape to fit into your cheekbone. Like, I don't know. And then once you wipe this away, it'll be a perfect chiseled contour. And I don't mind if my contour is a little dark because I feel like in photographs, it doesn't like photograph as chiseled as I want it. So I'm trying to do it a little bit darker these days to see if I can get a better picture. So we'll see. I'm just gonna use whatever's left over on the brush first to bronze around my forehead because that is a little bit dark. So I might even switch to a lighter shade to bronze my forehead with because I don't want to look too crazy. And I just like to bronze around the perimeter of my forehead and always take it back into your hairline just to make sure you don't have like a white like ring around your forehead where you missed with the bronzer, because then like everybody's gonna know that you're catfishing them. Even though I'm not hiding it at all, like that I have a full face of makeup on, I will wear it loud and proud. And I always like to just dust underneath my jawline just to make it look a little bit sharper. And you don't want to do like on your face by your jawline, you want to do like right underneath, like right in here in this little neck notch. And then I just like kind of go over everywhere just to make sure that it seamlessly blends together and it's not too harsh. Still gonna let this bake because it has a lot of work to do to remove that dark bronzer from my face. And then just to lightly contour my nose, I'm gonna take a Morphe M452 fluffy crease brush, gonna lightly dip into my bronzer and just dust underneath my nose to shorten it up a little bit, and then kind of take it around the tip because my nose is very round and I kind of want to make it a little bit more pointy. When you're contouring, you're basically just trying to cancel out any space that you don't want. So by doing this, like I'm creating a shadow, so it's gonna look more flat underneath instead of round. And around the tip of my nose, like if I put bronzer here and here, it's gonna make it look more pushed in instead of so round. And that's really all I do for my nose since it is crooked because it's broken and I never got it fixed. And then I just like to contour this little notch underneath my lip to make it look more pushed back and pouty. Right in here like this, it creates a little shadow and it gives your bottom lip a little extra pout. Just like that. Now we can move on to blush. So, like I was saying, for summer golden hour glowy makeup, I like to use some cream products just to kind of make my skin look a little bit more glossy and fresh. So I'm gonna be using the Fenty Cream Blush in the shade Petal Poppin', which is a nice corally pink, my favorite for summer. So I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger and I'm gonna pat it onto my cheeks first and blend it out that way, and then see if I need to go in with a brush after. So I like to smile and just kind of find the apples of my cheeks and pat it on here and then blend it out into my contour. I don't even think I'm gonna need a brush. My skin kind of just like sucks it in. And I don't even think you really need to set these Fenty cream blushes because I'm like running my other finger over it and it feels really smooth. It doesn't feel greasy or wet like it's gonna break apart my makeup. And I think using your finger is the best method because you can press it in and kind of diffuse it where you want it instead of using a brush. I think that might be too harsh. It might make it streaky and wipe away some of your makeup. Okay, I think it's time to dust off this bake. It's been quite some time now. I just got some exciting packages in the mail. My plants finally came in, so definitely check out that video. This video will probably go up before then, but stay tuned for my little plant home decor tour. What I am gonna do though is also take this brush that I had the setting powder on, and I'm just gonna blend the blush and the contour together just to make everything like really seamless and intentional. I always like to do highlight last because I like to kind of match my highlight with the eye look that I do because I don't want it to clash too much. So I'm gonna take some of my Cover FX Conceal concealer, the same one that I used on my face, because I'm not doing anything too crazy on the eyes. I don't need like my P. Louise base or my Anastasia base. So I'm just gonna dot a little concealer on my eyes, and I'm just going to blend it in my little mini beauty blender thing. Okay, so this is a Morphe M452 fluffy crease brush, and I'm just gonna go into my bronzer, the same bronzer that I used on my face, just to tie everything together, and I'm just gonna use that as my transition shade, just to deepen up my crease a little bit. This bronzer does have a little bit of shimmer in it. Usually you wouldn't put a shimmery shade in your crease, but I am just gonna kind of put this like cream shadow all over the lid. You're gonna see in a second, so it's okay if it has a little shimmer in it, because we gonna put some glitter on there anyway. See how it just nicely kind of outlines my crease, just gives me some more dimension and color. Just using really light windshield wiper motions and circular motions. Nothing super technical or precise going on over here. I do like to pat it on first though, just to kind of set the concealer or eyeshadow base first so it doesn't wipe all over the place. And then I'll just go in and start blending it out. So for all over my lid, I'm gonna go in with a cream copper eyeshadow. I think that copper eyeshadows are so pretty and they look good on literally any skin tone and with any eye color. I feel like it just draws so much attention and just brings so much beauty to the eyes. So I'm using my Medusa Makeup Pennywise pigment that I got in my Kind Your Beauty box, and it's called an eye dust, but it goes on really creamy. It's not very powdery, so you can put it directly on your skin. You don't need an eyeshadow base first, or like you don't need a color underneath it to kind of make it stand out, because it's just so pigmented and so creamy. Like, look at that. It is so pretty. It makes your lid almost look wet. Like, I love that. And I'm just using my finger. You don't even need a brush, because we don't really need to make it precise. I just want a diffused, really glossy, glittery lid. I do want more pigment towards my lash line, and I want it to kind of diffuse like up into my crease. So I am gonna press a little bit more on like the center of my lid and towards my lash line. And then just whatever's left over on my finger, press like up into my brow bone. If you want a little extra pigment and shine, and you want it to maybe last a little bit longer, you can pick some up on a brush. This is a Morphe M434. It's my favorite flat brush ever. I'm gonna spray it with a little setting spray, Anastasia Dewy Set, and then you could just press it onto your lid and it'll help set it in place, make it a little bit extra strong, the pigment, and make it last longer. That is such a nice glowy lid. Just gonna do the same thing on the other eye real quick, and I will be right back. Okay. So both eyes are completely saturated with that gorgeous copper pigment. So another product that I've been loving is this Thrive Cosmetics Eye Brightener Stick. It's almost like a jumbo eye pencil. It's like the perfect gold color to highlight your tear duct and your brow bone with. And it's creamy, but it dries down like sort of matte, like it's not greasy. So I just draw underneath my brow with it a little bit, and I press it in with my finger. And it gives it such a nice little glow. And I think that we need just a little bit of a lighter shimmer color to highlight the brow bone with, because we have such a deep copper on our lid. We need something that'll contrast with that and really make it pop. I feel like I just need a little boost of hydration, so I'm gonna spray my face with the Anastasia Dewy Set, my favorite setting spray in the whole freaking world. If you haven't tried it, try it. You won't regret it. So I don't want to do a winged liner because I don't want to take away from just like the pure glowiness of the eyes. So I'm just going to line my lash line so that my fake lashes blend in. So I'm just going to grab any felt tip liner that I have. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Liner. And I'm just going to draw a thin line on my lash line so that my lashes blend. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can even use a black shadow if you don't feel comfortable using a felt tip liner. You could just take some black eyeshadow on a little angled brush and just dust some black shadow near your lash line just so it blends better. I'm gonna take a Morphe E36 little dome brush. I'm just gonna take some of my bronzer that I used for my transition shade and just line my lower lash line with that. Or not really line it, just blend some out on my lower lash line just so we have some symmetry and everything blends together. I do think that I want to put some shimmer on my lash line though as well. So using the same brush that I was just using, I'm gonna dip into the Pennywise pigment again, and I'm just gonna focus it in the center of my lash line just to brighten it up and like draw the attention, like, you know, to the center of my eye where the light is gonna hit it, just like right there. So I'm just gonna give my lashes a little curl. Ow! Oh God, I just pinched my eye. I'm gonna go in with my Pacifica Beauty Stellar Gaze mascara. And when I'm prepping my lashes for my falsies, I use a mascara that really lifts and separates my lashes, not one that like makes them super thick, because we are gonna put the lash on anyway, and like that's gonna do the job. You don't need to use a super expensive mascara and spend a lot of time like layering it on, because you're gonna put your fake lashes on anyway, and the reason you're putting them on is to add all the volume and the length and the style that you want, so you don't have to go crazy. I love like a nice clumpy spidery bottom lash. So I accidentally got some mascara right here, and when that happens, the best thing to do is to let it completely dry first and then pick it off so it'll flake off rather than like smudge off. So we're just gonna leave that alone for a minute. Okay guys, so lashes. If you want your lashes to go on seamlessly and easy, do this. So today I'm going to be using my Ardell Remy lashes in the style 778. They're really fluffy and wispy, and I love the Remy lashes because it gives you a really full but natural looking lash, and the band is really thin and comfortable. So at first I take the lashes off of the little package, and then I measure them on my eye, and I measure it starting from the outer corner of my eye. I put the lash where I want it to stop, and then I see how much I need to trim off. So I already went ahead and I trimmed off the excess. So it already fits the shape of my eye perfectly. And then I'm gonna take the lash and I'm just gonna kind of wiggle it around a little bit just to make the band a little bit more loose. And then the absolute key thing to do is give your strip lash a nice coat of lash glue. I'm using the Tarte Black Lash Glue. This is my favorite. And then leave the lash alone for 5 minutes. I know that seems like a long time, but just leave it alone. Don't put it on your eye, just leave it alone. Watch some TikTok, go on Twitter, just leave it alone. And then it'll dry almost completely, but it'll still be really sticky. So when you put it on, it won't be wet and like popping off of the corners. It'll just stick right on nice and easy, like I'm gonna show you right now. So I'm gonna start off, I use my fingers. I don't like to use tweezers because I feel like I have more control personally. So I go in from the top and then I start pressing it down starting in the outer corner. Then I press it on the inner corner and like it's on. It's literally on. So that is the best advice that I could give to you if you have trouble putting on lashes. The main thing is letting the glue dry before you put them on. So now we have highlighter, and this may be what ties the look together and really makes it that golden hour glow. And that is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops, and it has a little dropper and it's a liquid highlighter. I found the best way to apply this is with a beauty blender. So I'm gonna put a few drops on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use my little mini beauty blender, and I'm just going to dab it onto the beauty blender, and I'm gonna pinch it a little bit so it's a little bit more long instead of so round, and I'm just going to bounce it onto my skin, and this really diffuses it out. It helps to give it a really even application instead of just getting like a huge glowy stripe down like the side of your face. Tell me that is not like, ah. And then you could just go crazy and start putting it everywhere with whatever's left over. And you could mix this in with your foundation, you could put it on your body, you could pretty much use it like anywhere. I really think just having this liquid highlighter, it just like melts into your skin and really ties the whole thing together. And they have a bunch of different shades, but I just picked the shade Rose Gold and I happen to really like it, and I think it goes really good with the copper shadow because it has a little bit of that rosy tone in it. And the last thing that we have to do is lips. So I'm gonna go in with my favorite ColourPop lip pencil, and it's the shade Oh Snap. It's just a really nice mauvey neutral pink. I want to add a little bit of color to my lips, but nothing too crazy. I don't want to do like a matte liquid lip and like dry everything down because we're keeping everything really light and fresh. And then just to make my lips look extra plump and juicy, I'm gonna top it off with this Buxom gloss, and it's in the shade Dolly. It actually has a really similar color to this lip pencil. It goes on pretty much sheer, but it has a tiny bit of pink in it, and it makes your lips tingle so much, and I feel like it really plumps them. Okay, so just to lock everything in place because it looks so good, I'm gonna use some more of my Anastasia Dewy Set. They just came out with, I think, like a mango flavor and another one. I cannot wait to buy it because I love this one so much. It's coconut scented. The packaging is a little deceiving. It doesn't have any glitter in it, which is probably good because a lot of people don't like that, but I mean, I wouldn't mind if there was glitter in it. Okay guys, so this is my golden hour makeup look all complete. I think it was really simple and it'll look so good on anybody. It's so customizable. You can put any type of shimmery shadow on your lid, gold, rose gold, copper, bronze, like anything you want. And the face makeup was just my basic face makeup, but I just used products that had a little bit of shimmer in them just to really like pump up the glow and the dewiness, and I am obsessed. So I definitely think that you should try this look out. It just gives you such a great glow, and it'll look good with like anything that you're wearing. If you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't haven't already. I make weekly videos about beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and more. So comment down below if you have any video suggestions for me. I would love to hear from you guys. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm always on there. My handle is @AlexaWest for all my social medias. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Mwah!